Matt makes a board rant.
Okay.
This is basically version 5. It's a continuation of of last week's discussion about boards. So I want to go back to the company that I talked about last week. If you didn't listen to last week, you can either catch it on YouTube, you can download the podcast. It's all over the place. But I'm talking about Fidelity National Financial, a title insurance company. I picked them last week because they're basically an undiverse, heavily white board, and I was trying to get a board seat and I was maximizing my possibilities, the potential that I'd actually get one. And as a white male in his 40s, it seemed easier to go for a company like Fidelity. So the board, if you're watching the stream or on YouTube now,
which you should be,
which please do.
Hopefully you are.
You can see the whiteness of the current board.
Very
There's only
white,
one person on the board, a Richard Massey, whose picture I cannot find, but the probability that he's white is very high.
Very high.
I don't know. I have to say I don't know. I did have to find...
You're listening, Dick Massey. Give us a call. Tell us if you're white. That's what we want to know.
I did happen to find a picture from another board member, Ron Lane, Daniel Ron Lane, from 1984 Olympic Games.
Ooh.
That's the only picture I could find.
He looks like he's 90 even then.
I don't. He's a real estate developer in L.A. It's a thing.
Okay.
I don't know.
No offense, Ron.
But here's where I don't want to castigate the company, because what I actually want to get to is how the board came to be like this.
Okay.
Right? That's the point.
Yep.
So Fidelity National Financial, like almost every company, has a nominating committee on the board. Effectively, it's a small committee on the board who chooses who the next board members are going to be, and they nominate them so that shareholders can then vote on them.
Got it.
The nominating committee happens to be Rich Dick Massey and Peter Shea. Okay,
Just two people?
Just two people.
That's odd.
Now, Massey, we don't know if he's white. Now, let's just guess that he is. Between me and you, we're going to guess that he is. So probably a not very diverse nominating committee. Just probably, okay?
Yeah.
The nominating committee's job is to make a recommendation to the board with respect to filling vacancies of committees or board members. And they say that they should consider, quote, as part of their charter, they are considering the responsibilities, the qualifications, and the application of the committee charter, as well as other factors it deems appropriate in choosing candidates. Okay?
Okay.
So they just want qualified, experienced people. Now, this past year, this was an opportunity in 2019. It was an opportunity for shareholders to use those proxies because there were board members up for re-election. This was a chance for shareholders to effectively yell at the nominating committee, that is Shea and Massey, and say, we don't like how white and non-diverse your board is. There's one woman. There was two women. One of them left. We don't know why. Janet Kerr, if you're listening, I really need to talk to you about what it was like on Fidelity National Financial Board.
Special alert. I have confirmation from the nndb.com website. Richard Massey, race or ethnicity is listed as white.
Whoa. All right. Good guessing.
There you go.
I'm shocked.
Not guessing. Yeah. Okay.
Let me just say
going.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the crazy thing. Massey, who is on the nominating committee, who chairs the nominating committee, is up for a vote in 2019. If you're an investor and you do not like the whiteness, lack of women, like entrenchment of this board, this is the year you can yell at the nominating committee member who made this all possible.
Yeah.
There were 3 members of the board up for a vote this year: Thompson, Lane, and Massey. Now, Lane and Thompson were on the board for like 25 plus years, and Massey slightly less. This is what the vote results were. Are you ready for this? The vote results.
Okay, so it already happened, the meeting.
It already happened, the meeting.
Okay.
There was some pushback against all 3 of them. but
right.
they got 85% or more of the vote, the proxy
Right.
vote.
But I will, to put it a little bit into context. In my old life, any no vote above 10% was flagged for being way too high.
It is high. Investors didn't like this. But here's the thing. Depending, if you are an individual investor, the chances that you're going out and buying Fidelity National Financial as a company, pretty low.
Pretty low.
Pretty low. But if you are an investor in Vanguard, Rowe Price, Principal Global Investors funds, BlackRock funds, Alliance Bernstein funds, if you own a mutual fund, and there's Wells Fargo owns them, State Street owns them, you own a mutual fund or ETF, any of those, you might actually hold Fidelity National Financial.
Right.
And those fund managers are voting on your behalf, okay? Here's where it gets crazy. I'm out of time, but here's where it gets crazy. I'll move faster. Because all of these companies, they have effectively policies to deal with how they vote proxies on your behalf. They have policies that cover board composition. BlackRock actually came out in the Wall Street Journal and said companies should have at least 2 female directors. That's what BlackRock said in February of, was it last year? I think it was February of last year or this year. Here is what they did. Okay. Vanguard. 4. They were all for all the directors. Very happy to reelect them. Yes to say on pay. Take a guess. T.rowe Price. What do you think?
4.
False. They were the one company who was aggressively against.
Why? Do we know why?
We don't know why, but we do know that in their policy, they actually outsource their proxy voting to ISS.
Okay.
A company that I'm going to come back to tomorrow because there's a big conversation happening in small circles of people who don't really know how to speak English about proxy advisory.
Okay.
Principal Global Investors, no information.
All right.
Have no idea. Can't find anything about it. BlackRock, Alliance Bernstein, all yes.
All yes.
BlackRock, this year you said company board should have 2 women on it. This year you voted all yes in all your funds for a company with 1 woman on it that's all white.
I wonder why. I wonder how will they respond to that?
How will they respond to that? Who knows? The point here is that shareholding is actually a surprisingly democratic process. And individual shareholders have largely outsourced their vote to someone else. If you don't like how your share gets voted, you can do something about it by writing to the manager of the fund. You can email them. You can complain. And people like us can keep asking why a company like BlackRock, who says every company should have at least 2 female directors, and a company like Vanguard, who says we believe good governance begins with a great board of directors where they, including diversity, skills, personal characteristics, they're all against entrenchment and stuff like that, why they are happy to vote for 3 dudes, 2 of whom have been on the board for 25 years or more already.
I think what Matt's saying to those people is wake up, people.
Time to wake up.
Wake up and do your job.
It's time to actually do something you're paid to do.